Hello, and welcome to another episode of After School Kids Lab. Every Wednesday, we do a fun game, craft, science project, or skill. This week, we're going to be doing a craft project. We're going to be doing chalk tracing art. For this project, you're going to need a few things. First of all, we're going to need some black paper. It can be construction paper, or it can be black cardstock. Either one will work. Next, we're going to need some chalk. It can be regular white chalk, or you might use colored chalk. Also, we're going to need some type of scissors because we're going to be cutting out some shapes. And the last thing you need is some kind of shape to trace. Let's get started.
The first step to creating your own chalk tracing art is to print, cut out, or find something to trace. We printed many different shapes and other items for tracing. I tried to think of things that glow, because this artistic technique creates what looks like light around the object. I went with a light bulb and fireflies. The next step for us was to cut out the shapes or items we wanted to use. You could simply cut out shapes from paper like a circle or a heart without printing them. You could even create abstract art from chopped up pieces of paper to trace. Next, you place the shape onto the black paper. While holding it down firmly so that it doesn't slide around, trace around the object with the chalk. This does not need to be a perfect or even line. We are going to mess it up in a minute anyway. Then you will use a paper towel, cloth, or your own fingers to brush the chalk outwards from the shape you traced. I would recommend using your fingers because you have a lot more control this way, but you do what works for you. Just as a note, you may want to add a lot more chalk when tracing. If I wanted something to really look like it was glowing, I added more chalk around the outside before I blended it out. You may want to do the same.
You might want to pick out a favorite character or item from a video game, movie, or book that you've read. We did that. Let's see if you can figure out what some of our things were. The first one is
Minecraft.
Yep, it's from Minecraft. It's a Minecraft sword.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, a lot of people will probably know. Minnie Mouse. Yeah. The rest of them are from books. Let's see if you know this one.
Dr. Seuss.
Yep, The Cat in the Hat from Dr. Seuss. This one, some of you might know this one, or maybe you don't. That's okay. This one is from a book where the character kind of shines, so that's why I liked this one and chose it for chalk tracing art.
What book is that?
The Rainbow Fish. Yeah, it's the Rainbow Fish. I bet a lot of people will know this one.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yep, it's the HP from Harry Potter, and that's the snitch, which kind of glows too, so I picked that to do for chalk tracing art. And this one is a one a lot of kids know. It's from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It's Greg. So there might be some characters that you would like to do for your chalk tracing art.
If you want to preserve your chalk art and make sure the chalk does not brush off over time, you can apply a coat of Mod Podge clear spray, clear acrylic spray paint, or hairspray. For this step, be sure to have permission and help from an adult. This is After School Kids, or Ask Lab, so you know I am going to ask some questions. Remember, this is art, and so it is your chance to be creative. Sometimes being creative just means asking the right questions. For example, can you think of any other shapes that glow or shine that you could cut out and trace? Also, the items you choose to trace don't have to be out of regular paper. You could use something from the natural world for your traceable item. We used leaves from trees around our house for a nature-inspired work of art. Can you think of other items you might want to trace? And if you were wondering, like we were, if liquid chalk works for this art technique, the answer is yes and no. For most of the colors we used, the chalk didn't even show up on paper. And for the other ones that it did, we couldn't get the blending effect to work because the chalk was too wet. It still made a cool work of art, but it wasn't the same as when using regular chalk. Can you think of any other types of craft materials that might work to make tracing art? Last of all, Is there anything else you would add to your chalk tracing art to make it more unique? For example, I colored inside my light bulb to add extra detail. If you have any questions for me or you'd like to share your own experiences with chalk tracing art, please comment below our Facebook post.
I hope you enjoyed creating your own chalk tracing art. Next week, we're going to be making homemade geodes. We hope to see you there. Until next time, bye!